Good evening. Welcome to the final day session of the Professional Development Program on Scholarly Publication. We will start at 4:05 as we wait for some of the participants who are joining. Thank you. Good evening. On behalf of MSSW, I welcome one and all for the final session of the 5-day professional development program on scholarly publications. The 4 topics we have dealt with in this program thus far are writing for publishing in scholarly journals, research to publication practical insights, presenting quantitative and qualitative data in scholarly publications, and citation referencing and avoiding plagiarism. Today's session is entitled Publication Metrics, Citation Analysis, H-Index, Impact Factor, and Author IDs, to be anchored by Dr. B. Jayaprakash, Associate Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, BHARATHIDASAN University, Tiruchirappalli. Sir, I thank you for accepting our invitation and for consenting to be the resource person for the session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Dear participants, I would like to share the brief profile of Dr. B. Jayaprakash. Sir has done his MLISC from Bishop Heber College, Tiruchirappalli, MPhil in Library and Information Science from Annamalai University, and PhD from BHARATHIDASAN University. He has over 25 years of professional experience. Sir is a recognized MPhil and PhD guide. Under his guidance, 26 MPhil scholars and 2 PhD scholars have been awarded their degrees. Sir serves as a member in the boards of studies of leading colleges and universities. His areas of specialization include library automation and networking, open source software, institutional repository, and digital library. Sir has published 3 books, 10 book chapters, and 46 research articles in international and national journals. He serves as an associate editor and peer reviewer for select library and information science journals. He has several paper presentations to his credit. He has also delivered more than 100 special lectures. It is an honor to have Dr. B. Jayaprakash as the resource person for this session. Welcome, sir, once again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And
dear participants, before we proceed with the session, I have a few announcements. If you are yet to change your screen name as your name, I request you to do so. Similarly, please introduce yourself by sharing details of your name, designation, and institution in the chat box. If you have any queries, please do post them in the chat box. At the end of the program, please fill the feedback form in the link provided. Now I hand over the session to Dr. B. Jayaprakash for the session on publication metrics, citation analysis, H-Index, Impact Factor, and Author ID. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, very good evening to all. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good evening to all, and thanks for your formal introduction, Dr. Gunavati ma'am. And first, let me congratulate the organizer, Dr. Saktireka and Dr. Gunavati ma'am, and for their team for organizing this wonderful online professional development program and scholarly publications. That is for 5 days, which is record for this hour. And I will just take this opportunity to thank Madras School of Social Work authorities, principal, HOD, for giving me the opportunity to share some of my ideas to the faculty members of your MSSW, and also that outside participants throughout the country. Hope all the participants, you have enjoyed the 4-day session. It is very, very difficult to attend the continuous sessions, and anyway, you have just attended all the sessions, which was very much useful. And hope you have enjoyed, and you might have just equipped yourself for a scholarly publication for past 4 days. So here today, I wish to just share some of the information related to publication metrics. That's the topic which is given to me, and I wish to share some of the information related to publication metrics. So here, publication metrics, this will be useful for the faculty members and scholars, and to improve of your institutional visibility and also for your individual. Okay, and whenever the NAC committee or NRF, when they're just visiting our institution, which they are very, very specific, asking that what is your institutional H-Index and impact factor, where you have just published, and individual H-Index and department and then institution, all the queries which is asked by that the committee members. So for that, we need to give a prompt reply, and we should have some stuff on that. So now this class will equip you where you can just go publish and how you can get for the citations and how you can just improve of your visibilities. That is what my coverage, and my presentation will just starts with what is publication metrics, and what are the types are available, and what are the names. Yeah, what are the names which is available, and then what is H-Index, what is impact factor, and H-Index impact factor, where exactly we can just go and have a look. That's called the databases. the different types of databases, and finally they asked me to just cover with that author ID, so which is required for whoever has a very good publication or really want to just share, or you want to just put it in a single place. So for this, that author ID will be useful. And so this is my coverage. I'll just start my presentation. Yeah, now I'll just share my screen. Yeah, please confirm whether it is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Still full screen has come. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So this is what my coverage I have just told you, and I'll just start with my presentation. And the publication metrics, which is most important for current the requirement, which is most important for all the faculty members. Now, what exactly that publication metrics is? The word metrics means it's a measurement. In the academic publishing industry, they measure the impact of published research based on various metrics to check how many times a paper cited by a subject or author. So suppose you have just published any of the paper, and how many times your paper got cited, that can be measured. And really by your subject people, how many times they have just gone, that you can have a check it. And how many times a specific article in a journal is cited, and that also, and even to assess that importance of a journal and it is impact on the field of study. Really this journal impact for the particular subject, whether it is there or not. Now these measurement can be done. That's called the publication metrics in general we are used to call. And the next is, these are the three metrics which is available, and journal metrics, author metrics, and article metrics. And journal metrics are used to determine the impact of a journal as on the scientific community, Oliver scholar, among the scholar, and how that journal has made an impact, that it can be measured by the journal metrics. And author metrics, it provide an assessment of the impact that an author makes on the scientific community or field of study. So here a particular author, how much he has just produced really for a research community, whether it will be useful, and how he has just contributed for his field of study. So that can be measured by this author metrics. And article metrics, this is the new one which has come, like an article level metrics are used to quantify the impact of published articles and how published paper are being discussed or shared. So one, you can just understand how that impact of a particular article. Second is like really how it is just shared. Now the social media is playing a major role. So now the social media also when sharing of the scholarly communications, really to know that the impact under this article level metrics will be useful. That's called the alt matrix. I'll tell you now what are the metrics which is available. Now these are the three metrics which is really useful to analyze your published your publications. Like now name of metrics is, one is the journal metrics, as I said. Like now what are the metrics which is available is, there is one is impact factor, second is agent factor, third is Simoga journal ranking, and source normalized impact per paper, this is called the SNP, and site score, and immediacy index. Now these are the metrics which is available to measure of your journal. So impact factor is very dominative word and everyone knows, and I'll just give you the clear information on this, how to calculate it, and rest all I'll just explain. And yeah, these all which is Simoga journal ranking and source normalized impact factor, and site score is very related to SCOPUS, and immediacy index, it is for the Web of Science. Okay, I'll explain later. And author metrics, which is there for H index, it is very famous, like everyone knows what is H index. Now we are just going to have detailed how the H index can be calculated for the individual and a department and an institution. Like now the last one is with the article metrics. So this is called a newly, which is by alt matrix. Even whatever it is just sharing with the social media, it can be counted. So previous this option was not there. Only those who are just giving a citation can be measured. Now the recent one, the social media also, number of scholars, they are just sharing it. So this is the new one, which is called alt matrix. So now first I'll just make the clarity in that H index and the impact factor. Then we'll just go for other metrics also. I'll just throw light on that in very simple manner. So now H index, which is searched by George E. Hurst, and it is called as a Hurst index, or you can just even call as the Hurst number. Okay. Now H index attempts to measure both the productivity and impact of published work of a scientist or a scholar. Say a single scholar, and what is his overall production, you can understand. And once his production, like, and what is the publication impact? Really, what are the work he has just produced, and what is the impact of that? That can be measured by that H index. Second, this H index, based on the set of scientists most cited papers and the number of citations that they have received in other publications. For example, like a set of citations and now recent COVID-19, overall just dominative scientists that you can understand, and plus those COVID-19, the topmost scientists, what are the other publications that also can be measured. Okay, so that's possible by the H index, and the H index can also be applied to the productivity and impact of a group of scientists. So here the group of scientists is your 6 or 7 faculty members in a particular department, all together you can just measure, and the entire department by the name you can just go and measure it. And next you can just check with your institutional, entire institution, college or university, you can just check it, and then even a whole country or region, that also is possible. Now these are the measurement, the impact can be measured only by H index. So you are very clear, H index is what it is and why we need to just use for the H index. Like I'll explain how to calculate and all, we will just see that. Now H index, and this is the formula. A scientist has index H if his or her number of papers have at least H citations each, and the other papers have no more than H citations each. Actually, it is very difficult to understand by this. Very simple logic is each and every paper what you're just publishing getting a citation. Okay, so that citation I'll explain now. Now these are the articles I have just published. For example, I have just published a number of articles is 8. So my first publication received 33 citations. Okay, so first your article to be arranged, and then second your article citation to be on the descending order. The first citation, first publication, what I just received is 33 citations. The second one 30, and third one 20. So slowly it is just coming down. It means I have produced a very good article, which a very quality article. It is based on the citation. Okay, and 33 citation it has received. Now slowly my contribution and the quality is just coming down. That is the meaning of getting a citation. So slowly it's coming down. Now where exactly your paper and your citation meets, that place is called the H index. Are you clear? Number of papers what you just produced, number of citations what you just received. That's what it says, like a H citations. Okay, and H citations, what are the papers here? Now sixth paper received 6 citations. Now it is getting equal, my H index is only 6. Sometimes you may ask, like, sir, if it is not meeting, so what should I do? Now if it is not meeting, one or more citations can be a higher side. Okay, one or more citations can be a higher side. Now this is called the H index. I'll put it in the practical. I have just collected the above science and calculated for the institution, department, and individual. I'll show you very clear. Now this is the graphical interface, and this is the citations, and these are the number of papers. Now exactly where it just meets, this place is called the H index, right? So next, I'll just explain what is impact factor. Now impact factor, which is devised by Eugene Gottfried, it is calculated as the number of citations to a journal for the previous 2 years divided by the number of articles published on those years. Actually, now we are just getting a mail saying that, hello, professor, I would like to have your manuscript for my the impact factor journal. So we are just trusting some time and we are just submitting our manuscript. I'll explain this later, you can understand, and what you're getting is a fake message. Okay. Now, for example, this 2013, I want to just find out the impact factor. So for that, I need to take an account of a number of times that articles published in a journal 2011 and 12. Okay, 2011 and 12, and were cited by articles indexed in journal in 2013. Now 2013, I want to just find out, I need to just check what are the 2011 and 12 the citations received by the particular journal, and the total number of citable items published by the journal in a 2011 and 12. It means, say like a monthly journal which is available in a 2013, I want to find out like monthly journal. So each and year, 1 year, 12 journals will be there. Now each and every monthly journal has 10 articles. Now total is 120 per year. Say like 11 120 and 12 120. So total 240 publications, journal articles are there. Okay. So now these 2 years which I just received for 1000 citations. Now my impact factor will be 1000 divided by this 240. 1000 divided by this 240. So then it comes around 4.01 something it comes. This is what a impact factor. Hope you understood. To calculate the impact factor for a particular year, you need to take an account of past 2 years, the citations divided by past 2 years number of publications. Very simple. That's what it says. 2013 impact factor of that particular journal is A divided by B. Okay. Now impact factor is a journal matrix that should not be used to assess the individual researchers or institutions. H index for individual institution, all it is, but this is only for to find out the quality of a particular journal. Hope you're clear. So now when you just get a message saying that it's 10 or 12 impact factor, the journal which we have kindly publish over your article, simply you can just check really when they've just started that particular journal. They might have just started 6 months before. So then it is really a fake message. So kindly go through whatever the mails which you're just receiving, check the title, whether it is really started, whether it has an impact factor, and you can just check cross-checking of the citations like, okay. Now you may ask like, and where do I just go and check that impact factor? So for that, now impact factor calculation, which is done by Web of Science, that is for the Thomson Reuters. So now recently, which is called as a Clarivate Analytics. So that they have a product called Journal Citation Report. Journal Citation Report. Now where exactly you can just go find out your impact factor is, only this is the place, Journal Citation Report. This is again paid. You can just subscribe and get an access. Now this is the impact factor details you will be getting. So here monthly, the monthly, quarterly, it says, and Journal of Information Technology, these are the journal titles. Now this says like a total number of citations, as I said, like past 2 years, and then journal impact they've just calculated, okay, 5.311, which they've calculated. Now journal impact factor, it is they have calculated for 2 years, and agent score they have just calculated for the 5 years minus elimination of their self citations. Okay, now this is the clarity and for finding out the journal impact factor and then agent factors. Okay, now this is available with Journal Citation Report in Web of Science. Okay, so now instead of just paying this, we can take it, and this is available in the Google, and Journal Citation Report 1 year old, which is available in Google. So 2018, you can just check by free of cost. Now this is the list which I just received in Google. Now these are the titles, total number of citations, and impact factor. Okay, if you're saying that, sir, I'm not affordable to purchase, or my institution is not affordable to purchase, what you can do is you can just go have a look into that Google Scholar and try this. 1 year old will be there. Every year June, after June only they will just publish. So now till now, which is available in 2018, you can just go and have a look. These are the titles. Now based on this title, what you can do is you can just select number of journal articles for a specific subject for your journals for your specific subjects. Okay, now after selecting that set of journals, you try to understand what are the impact factor for this. Now see, first journal, the topmost journal is called a Cancer Journal of Clinicians. So this is called 223, that's the impact factor. Now people are calling like a simply impact factor 10, 12 for recently started journal also. Don't believe that. This is the solution way to check it. Okay, hope you understand. So now this is the impact factor where you can just check is by the JCR, that is with the Web of Science, which is paid, and now Google, which is available with the free of cost for 1 year old. Right. Now next is with the Google journal rankings, and here it says like a first SJR. This is Scimago journal ranking. Scimago journal ranking. So this is by the SCOPUS, and Scimago journal ranking calculation. This is average weightage of citation received in a year. Weightage citation is received in a year divided by number of documents published in the previous 3 years. So as I said, like they're the impact factor for 2 years. So here they're just calculating for 3 years. So here weighted citation is most dominated authors, the citations. Okay, so that papers divided by the number of publications happened for last 3 years. Now this is called the SJR calculation, which is freely available. And next is with the SNP, the recent one which they have just come up with, source normalized impact per paper. Now this SNP calculation is journal citation count per paper divided by citation potential in its subject area. So for example, like this will give a impact only those who are referred in the subject specific citations. Subject specific citation. Say like I have just produced a journal article that has received 1,000 citations, and I'm just cross-checking by the SNP. This gives the result is only 20. Why the 20 is like only 20 people of library information science people given a credit for my article. Rest all with the other subjects. So that's not countable. So this is called the SNP, the recent one. Now they just introduced with the site score also. Now site score, they are just calculating like impact factor 2 years. This Scopus they're taking for 3 years. Now 2015, I want to just calculate. I can just calculate for last 3 years. I mean 12, 13, and 14. So 12, 13, and 14. This gives for site score, and then Scopus. They are just giving these are the 3 metrics which will be useful for the publications. So one is with the SJR, and second is with the SNP, and third one is with the Third one's with the site score. Now these three, which is for the SCOPUS. Hope you understood. I'll explain where it is available, which is free of cost. You can have a check it. Now one is with that SJR. This is with that Cymago Journal ranking. So as soon as you can just go to this site, you can have a look. These are the subject specific, all subject and region and country. It is there. You can type that subject specific journals and you can have a look. Now here this says like a Cancer Journal of Clinicians, and this says like a 72.576. Okay, and this is their SGR score. So like that, you can just go and find out for your subject specific and a list of journals, and you try to understand like which journal is having a most impact factor, and then you can just check for your scope of that research and then submit the article. Like now, next is with the site score. As I said, like a site score ranking is for a particular journal, it says like a 160.19. Okay, so now this is the calculation for the 3 years. What are the citations they have received divided by number of publications which has happened for a last 3 years. So that can be found out. It's for a site score. Next is SNP. As I said, like for a last 3 years citations divided by number of publications for 3 years, and with the very specific for the subject, the citations. Okay, subject people, those who are just given a credit, that given a count. That's called the SNP. This is for source normalized impact per paper. And now I've just explained like what is the Web of Science and what is the SCOPUS metrics which they have. And next is with the UGC CARE journals. Now really for our faculty members and scholars, you have to understand about what is the UGC the CARE journals, which really are playing the important role for our giving a credit of our papers, and then to complete of our research process. Okay, they need to have some publications. Like now UGC CARE, which is existing from June 14th of 2019. Now you can just visit this site and get into that. And sometimes we may just struggle how to just browse that the list of journals. Like so here they have just given, you cannot go immediately, you have to just go for a registration first. Now after getting a registration, and you will get a login, and you just give a login and password, then it will allow you to just search for it. Now before getting to that, and the UGC CARE, they've just grouped a UGC CARE group 1 and group 2. Before it was their ABC, now it has just group 1, group 2, they've just made it. And group 1 goes for that the committee, UGC committee members. Now they have just fixed for the universities as the region wise, and the Delhi University and Hyderabad University, Baroda University and Deshpur University. They're the 4 which they're taking a major role to analyze that quality of the journal. Now for a South and our Hyderabad University is just taking care. Now to include some of that important the journal really your institution is publishing, you can just send a request through that your IQAC, and IQAC in turn send a request to that Hyderabad University, and they will review and include into your the list. So now this is the way you can quality of a journal when you find, you can ask them to just include through your IQAC. Okay, that's possible. And the second one is with the group 2, which takes care for Web of Science and SCOPUS. Okay, all that listed under the indexed journal, all that will be there in the Web of Science and SCOPUS. This will be available in a group 2. Okay, now Web of Science and SCOPUS, and the complete list is available, and UGC CARE group 2. Now this is the place where you can just go and search it. Once you just log in, you can go and have a search by the group 1 here, and group 2 is Web of Science and SCOPUS. This is what Web of Science is, the SCOPUS. Just click, it goes for that original the titles. Okay, original sources. I also have a screenshots. I'll just tell you where exactly. So now this UGC approved journals, recently I've just calculated, and total is there on 1141 journals which is available, all subjects. Now these are the subject specific the titles, which is sciences, and it says around 329, and social sciences, arts and community, and other things. Sometimes you may claim that, sir, I'm not getting any journal which is listed in UGC for my subject. So please go and browse, and it will give. Okay, now total 1141 journals which is available in UGC committee review. Now this is with the SCOPUS indexed journals. As I said, they have just given a link, just click on it. That goes for the 41,000 plus journals where you can select for your subject specific. See to that your research, the scope of your research, and scope of that the journal. You can, if it is meeting, you can just publish it. Okay. Now this is with the SCOPUS. Now this is Web of Science index journals. There itself it is there in a group 2. Just click on it. This says like 25,000, and publication titles are there, and you can just publish it. Now these are the coverage by the UGC CARE. Now next, I have just explained like what is H index, what is impact factor, and where we can just go find out with that, and the SCOPUS and Web of Science, the list of journals, and UGC CARE also. Now slowly you may ask like, and sir, where do I just find out whether H index and impact factor? And now this is the place how you can just calculate for your H index for your institution, department, and your individual. Okay, so now that tool is called the citation databases. Now citation database or the database that have been developed for evaluating only the publications. Now citation database enables to count citations and to check which articles or journals are the most cited ones. Now based on this you can understand and which citation to count, I mean which article has more citation and which journal has more citation and which author, all you can just find out by just single click. I'll just show you the examples. Now what are the tools which is available? Now these are the major tools which is available to check your impact. One is Web of Science, second is Scopus, Google Scholar, Indian Citation Index, and Dimensions, which is new. Now Web of Science, which is by Thomas Reuters, it's a Clarivate Analytics, and Scopus, it is by the Elsewhere. Google Scholar, which is freely available. Indian Citation Index, again it is a, I mean it's a Delhi-based company. Again it is a commercial. Dimensions, which is a recent by Digital Sciences, and this also it's a commercial. Okay. Now these four will be a commercial, and only this is a freely available now. Okay. Now these are the citation databases which is available. Now exactly I want to say like in the coverage of the Web of Science. Why? Because and many of the faculty members as scholars, you have an idea like saying that only Web of Science as Scopus has only science coverage. It's not like that, and there will be a dominative, but it has science, social science, all the coverage. For that, I would like to just emphasize on this. Now, Web of Science, it is by Thomas Reuters, it's by Clarivate Analytics, and it has quick to find and analyze the share information on sciences, social sciences, arts and humanities. What's happening in the social and science, and what are the recent publications? Everything you can find out on this, and it gives integrated access to high quality literatures, and it has around 25,000 of journals and books and conference papers, out of which 15,000 highest impact fact journals which is indexed on this. So here you would like to say you have to just concentrate like, and this impact factors worldwide, which includes open access journals also. Then as a scholar or a faculty member, please find out which should be indexed, and that should be an open access. There it will be a more visible, like, okay, more visible. Now I would like to just say that the coverage of 159 million of records it has with the journal and other things, and 40.3 million of patents, 7.7 million of data sets which is available. Now before just going to the next one, I would like to say like, and say you might have just attended a number of the sessions, they might have just explained, but even then there are the 4 ways to publish of your journal article. You may ask like, sir, how do we get citations? So one, the option when you're just publishing, just whatever the manuscript you are there, simply you're just submitting to the publisher. So publisher, without reviewing, immediately just publishing. This is one kind. The second one is, and whatever the manuscript which you're just giving, so that goes to that publisher, they will just send it for the review. So that's called a peer review or refereed journals. And then third category, it's indexed, that's called indexed. Now peer reviewed and refereed journals that should have an indexed with this kind of a database. Okay, Web of Science and Scopus, and that is the other category. If it is indexed only, you will get a citation. And then fourth one is peer reviewed, indexed, and the impact factor. Now these are the 4 types of the publications where you can just choose for your manuscripts. Now to clearly to get a citation, you should just select the peer reviewed or refereed journal which is indexed, which just has a more the impact factor. Then only you will get a score for your publication, and you will get a very good the citations for your paper. Like, okay, now this is the importance where you can just go publish it. Like, now citation also sometimes you may get a confused like say, sir, I have just published my paper, and around 50 to 60 of my friends, they have just referred, and I'm not getting any credit on that. Like, why you have not got a credit means like you have not published on the indexed journal. When you just published on the indexed journal, whatever they just refer, and immediately you will just get a citations. Now what they have done is like, after referring your article, they have just published in the local journals which is not there in the index. Then whoever just refers, you won't get any credit. That is the reason many of our faculty members, they have 100 articles which is well received by other research scholars, and after receiving also, when they just write into the references, they're not getting a credit. Why? Because only thing is they have not published in the indexed journals. Okay, so now see to that you should publish an article which is an indexed at the same time, like, and you can get a citation only by based on that indexed journal publications. Like, this is what a clarity where you can just get for a citations for your papers. Now What are the Web of Science index which is available is, these are the three indexes, which is a Science Citation Index, Social Science Citation Index, and then Arts and Humanities. Now recently they're just calling us expanded, which is offline. They've just supplied a lot of journals with CD and DVDs that has a very good impact factor. Recently they just added with that. Okay, now our committee members, they will ask like SCA index journals, how many you have produced. Now this is the questions. So then it means like how many index journals you have produced, right? Now these are the coverage. It say like it has around 8,000 plus, and here social sciences around 3,000. Arts and science also it has around arts and humanities also it has around 1,700. So don't say that which is not covered in any social science journals. Now slowly I want to just tell you how you can just calculate for your H index. Now this is the Web of Science, the product, the screenshot. Now here you can just select Web of Science core collection, you can just select, and now I'm just telling you how you can just check for your H index. Okay, I've come to the Web of Science, and this is the place where I just selected Web of Science core collection. Now after selecting that, now I'm just simply giving that I want to just check. Say like committee member, they're coming, they're asking like as a Bharathidasan University and total what is the impact of your universities, the publications. For that answer is, I'm just checking now. I'm just giving us Bharathidasan University, and here I can just select organization and enhanced. It means Bharathidasan University, the actually organization enhanced is nothing but your institution name, which is already indexed by the Web of Science. You can select from this. That is the meaning of this organization enhanced. Just select on that, and the next screen it shows immediately. And Bharathidasan University has 4,730 publications. 4,730 publications Bharathidasan University has. And see here, immediately I can just find out this is the particular title, and it has around 940 times got cited. The author is Vivekanandan Yam. Yeah.
Sorry to disturb you.
Yeah.
Can you go a little slow? Some participants are asking.
Okay, fine. Okay, right. Yeah. So now this is Web of Science, and where exactly I can just go find out of my H index for that institution. Now what I've just done is I've given my name of that institution, and after then I've just given as now it says like a 4,730 publications by that Bharathidasan University. In that I would like to understand like what are the title which are most cited, by which author, and total number of citations. That all the queries, this is the answer of this. This is the title, and the author is Vivekanandan Yam, and then citation is 940 times this particular article got cited. Now simply I can just say that Bharathidasan University, which is the topmost article, is this. Topmost author is Vivekanandan. And what are the number of citations which this article is received? 940. So these are the queries which I can answer by this Web of Science. Okay, hope you have understood. Now next, simply I want to just give a, a report. Now create a citation report. After just clicking that, and I can get my H index of my university. Now this says 94 is my H index. Universities H index is 94. Total we have around 4,730 publications. Now total number of citation is 73,313 times got cited. Now within a single click, I can understand what is my university's H index, what total number of publications, and what are the citations. Even the citations without the self citations, how much it is? Around 1,000. It has just gone on self citation. It means like all Bharathidasan University people have referred. So that is eliminated. Committee member, whenever they come, they are asking like accept your self citation. Now recently all the committee of your NAC or NB or whoever it is, they are not asking. They will just cross check whatever the data which you have just submitted. They will be just cross check with the influent. Okay, so now you have to be very, very careful to giving a data. So that's what I want to mention here. Like, okay, now this is you can understand by what is H index, total number of papers, and total number of citations by a single click. As I said, like the number of your H index to find out, I've just explained here. Now these are the papers. Okay, now these are the papers I have arranged one to last for a Bharathidasan University, 4,730 papers I've just listed out. And here, as I shown, like is 940 citations, and slowly it is just coming down. See here, my 94th paper, and received 95 citations. As I told you like earlier, and the number of the paper publications where exactly your citation meets, that place is called the H index. Now practically I'm just showing this is the 94th paper, received a 95 citation. I've told you like 1 or 2 can be more. Okay, now that's what it shows, like a 94 is my H index. Even if it is 1 or 2 more also, you should give only the paper numbers, not article numbers. Okay, hope it is clear. And now Web of Science will address, you can go for any number of publication year wise and Web of Science category wise, subject wise, all it is there. But my focus is only to show how to calculate for the metrics. That's for the H index. Hope you understand H index for the Bharathidasan University. Now, same like I want to just find out for the department. Now, simple, in the department, I'm just typing Bharathidasan University and address. I'm just selecting it. And next is with the, I'm using a Boolean logical search and I'm just going for the Department of Chemistry. You have to just type like this only, since that index is like. Now just go for a search. I can understand 856 papers by that chemistry department, and the first paper is this, and by the Palani Andavar, and citation is 406. Okay, so now as I said, like number of papers and number of citations, descending order it goes. Now I'm just creating the report for a H index. Now for the department, it says like a 51 is the H index, total number of publication is 856, and 13,000 plus it has just received the citations. In a single click, we can understand and total number of paper, your H index and number of citations. Now this is the option, wonderful, it is there in the Web of Science and Scopus. Simply you can just calculate and then tell that. For that, you should have just produced a very good article. That article should have been the indexed journals, then only you will get a citation, otherwise you won't get it. Now, this is the sample. I told you number of papers, 51 paper, and it just received for 51 times. Now this is called the H index of a particular department. Okay. Now next is with the author, 160 by Dr. Muthaya. He has, and these are the papers. Now simply the first paper received 105 citations. Now Muthaya's indexes, individual is 23, 160 papers. Total is 2000 plus citations. Why I'm just given this clarity is, whenever the committee comes, they're asking institution, department, and individual. Even when you're just filling that the NAC report under that research, the third category research, they'll be asking individual name, title, and then now whether it is an indexed in SCI or Indian Citation Index or that Web of Science or Scopus, and then number of citation and the H index. So for that, you should have a clarity to give exactly what your research. Okay. Now, as I said, like 23, which has received 24 citations. Now H index is 23 for the particular Muthaya. Hope you understand what is the coverage of the Web of Science, how you can just go and find out for that institution, individual, and department. Now next coverage is by the Scopus. Now Scopus, it is by dominative publisher. It's called Elsewhere. It has an abstract and citation databases. It has around 77 million of records. Very, very huge the database. And it has around 16 million author profiles. Now author profiles, which is there, you can get connect with the people, you can interact with them, and this is the experts. Okay, all that experts which is there, more than 16 million of authors which is already connected with this, and 70,000 of affiliation profiles. It means like a research institutions, whatever the research recently happening, immediately it will get updated into the Scopus. That's what they have, a profile of 70,000 people like. Okay. Now it covers nearly 25,000 plus journals. So very dominatively 25,000 plus journals. It is from across 5,000 publishers. Now these are the coverage, and sometimes you may feel like only for science. No, it is scientific, technical, medical, social sciences, even includes arts and humanities also. Now this is the coverage. Now next is to the Bharathidasan University, same logic, how that H index. So Scopus also they are using a H index to find out that institution and the department and individual. I'm just a screenshots only. Now Bharathidasan University, it says like a 6,375. Why? Because the larger coverage. Our publication is too much, and this Scopus, it says like a 6,375. Total number of authors around 2,000 people. They have been produced that articles. Now single click, immediately I can just understand what are the subject wise publications. Say who's doing good. I can say like a chemistry department is doing good. Next is physics. So like that I can understand in our institution who is doing good, and total number of papers also by single click. Now here chemistry, it says 1,681 papers, which is by the chemistry department, and single click you can understand with their contributions also. Now next is with the chemistry department. Simply I want to just find out with what is the H index, 1,161. These are the paper and authors, and total number of citations received 431. Like a descending order, I'm just going, I can find out with what is the H index of a particular department. Now 73. There you might have just seen like only the 51, but here it just increased to the 73, right? Now this is the way you can calculate. And for author Muthaya also, there he had around 160 papers. Here he has around 195 in a Scopus. Okay. Now total his H index is 31. So hope you understand same logic, and it is for the Scopus also. I have shown how you can find out. Now, two databases which we have covered, and third one is with the Google Scholar. So Google Scholar, it's freely available. Full text journal articles you can find. And here I would like to mention like two of the metrics which they're using. They're using with the 4 metrics. One is with the H index, second with the item index, third one is H5 index and H5 median. So these two for individual authors, and H5 and H5 median is for the journal quality. Okay. Now H index, as I said, like number of the articles and receiving a number of citations, where exactly meets, that's called the H index. Same logic they're using. Item index is what are the articles which are just received more than 10 times the citation is called the item index. Okay, more than 10 times you received a citation is called item index. Now simple profile, how it looks is, I've selected here, this author has citation is 5,241 citations, his H index is 34. Okay, now these are the papers, these are the cited by, and the co-authors, everything will be there. And social science people and those who are not published any of the papers indexed in Web of Science and Scopus, please create your Google Scholar profile. At least whatever paper you are there, and I mean you have published in the online, that will get connected, and that will have a very good public visibility, and based on the visibility you will get a citations. Okay, but still our committee was not considering this, but even then you can use for your internal CAs and other things, you can just give it, and your original research will be visible by public domain, and people can give a credit for your research. So that can be done. Okay, so for that you should have all full text on the online. Okay, now simple how to just go about it is the Google Scholar profile, Google scholar.google.co.in. Simple, it will be there, and you can just give your login and password as of a Gmail and use a password you can just give, and this is the getting started of your Google Scholar profile. So just create a Google Scholar profile, and it just gives with only 3 steps. Now step 1 your profiles, 2 is you are adding an article, 3 is with the updates. Okay, now sample I've just given, name of the person, belongs to which affiliation you are into the institution, and here the verification mail ID should be there. Actually here it's your institutional mail ID you should produce. Okay, institutional mail ID you can create by Gmail, but it won't visible for the public. When you just give your verification mail ID by your institution, then only it will give for a public visibility, and you will get a citation. That is the special mention here. And then adding an article, so here they add a group of articles you can just select. See, as soon as you just created, if you're not very careful on this, what will happen when you just create a Jayaprakash profile immediately, and maybe like the 100 Jayaprakash will be there, all the Jayaprakash papers will be added to this, then your profile gives like 10,000 citation, and this one, that is not true, but actually mine is like only 47 papers. Okay, so not more than that. It means like something I have done wrong. So people now simply they're just creating, they're doing a mistake on this, and don't do that, and you try to add your own articles which is there available. Okay, for that you can just go to add article groups and then select. Now here you can just select and then say go add into this if it is yours. Second is you can just go with that add an articles individually. Now these many articles shows, but yours is originally first and second, not everything. Now just click on this and say add. Okay, now this way first you have to just go and create your profile, then only it gives a perfect information of your the publications. Otherwise it may take it from others publication also, that is wrong. Okay, now add articles manually also, which is available, where you can just enter the author title with only bibliography details. I wish to inform you that you see to that all your publications, the full text should be available in online. Okay, just a simple type of your bibliography, nobody will give a credit to you. See to that it should have been online, either by institution repository or by the publisher's site. Okay, so that should be there. Now at last, and you can just make it for the update automatically. So once this update automatically, once you're fixed, that will check with your affiliation and then add into your article. This is the way you can just create for your Google Scholar. Now the make it public, which I told you. So once you want to just put your profile into the public, this is the place, just click on it. It will ask for the verification mail ID, then you have to just give for your institutional mail ID. After giving only, your profile will be very active and it will be visible for everyone. Otherwise only you can see yourself, nobody knows what you created. Okay, so now H index, as I said, like number of papers, where exactly it meets the citation, and I told you like 1 or can be more. Now here it just says 8. I've told you in this profile it says for a 4 is H index. So this is the way you can. And item index, Now say like 1, 2, 3. So 3 items is more than 10 times got cited. So this is called the item index. Now item index is for this profile is 3. Okay. Now this shows 3. This is the item index which is cited more than 10 times. So hope you understood what is H index, what is item by the Google. And I told you like H5 and H5 median is for the journal to understand the quality, right? So now next option, next database, it's called the Indian Citation Index. And this is launched in 2019. And this takes care only that Indian journals. Now it has around 1,000 journals. And this also just takes care for the scientific, technical, medical, social sciences, all that the subject specific it takes care. And they are also just following with that how the Web of Science Science Citation Index, Indian Social Science Citation Index. So same like they're also following same logic they're using, and they've added with the Indian Social Science or Indian Science Citation Index like that. Okay. So now this is the coverage. This also it's a commercial, it's a Delhi-based company. Now this is the site exactly where you can just go and find out. Now this is based on the subscription. Right now what they're offering less 1 month trial will be there based on your login and password. You can go register yourself, and to know that what is your institution analyzer and your journal analyzer, you can find out. Okay. And see to that now what are the journals which is listed under this. Now my suggestion is like your institution is doing a very good at the journal publication. You try to write to them and ask them to include into the indexed database. Then it will be have a more visibility, and the citation also when they just when somebody refers, you will get a citation. So this is the way you can increase of your citation and include your journal article into the indexed databases, right? You can write to them. Now I've just found like a total number of the journals what is available for a social sciences. It says like 88 journals which is available. Now you can just go and browse by the subject wise, which is good. Now the last database which is called the Dimensions, which is really new, and it is coming with a very big way. And this is by the digital science. This is the product. It has around 128 million of publications. 128 million publications and grants are available. It is very, very larger than the Scopus. Now recently which is coming up, and all that important companies which is there in the digital, and they're I mean they've just got a collaboration with this, and it is by the digital sciences. Okay. Now this is the site where you can just go and have a free access, and access for free. Just click on it. It will allow you to just go for it. I have just checked with the total number of it runnings in the millions of records. Okay, this is the look how you can just go and look into the dimensions. Now search with the Bharathidasan University. Simple search I've just given just for a comparison. After just given this says like 12,000 something the Bharathidasan University publications. Okay. Since it is free, they will limit with some of the features. I have just checked with this, and now immediately here just options are available. You can go with that year-wise publication, total number what it is. Like that, you can just go check with the researcher or the researchers of dominative of your institution, and what are the research categories, subject specific, how many articles you have produced, and publication type, whether the journal or a book or a conference, all it is, everything is possible to check it in a single click. Okay. Now this has come up with the highly cited publications, and they have just come up with some of the new metrics. It's called field citation ratio and relative citation ratio. Nothing but, and as like a snip, and in your related field, how many people have cited, and relative citation ratio is only by National Institute of Health Sciences, a funded publication, how many publications are happened. So this is the citation ranking which they are doing. And apart from this, they are also just come up with the alt metrics. Each and every article, how it got shared by the social media, the social media sharing count will be there. See here, it says blogged by 11 and tweeted by 104, this credit. Now recently that Scopus and Web of Science also just coming up with that. Scopus already implemented on this. So this dimensions is taking to the big way of scoring of an alt matrix. Okay. Now these are the important the metrics which is followed by dimensions, which is new. Just for your information, I have watched. Okay, next the concept which they asked me to handle was that author IDs. So now author identification is, say like you are an author, you have a very good publication, number of publications you have, and when your institution, when they wanted to have a list of publications, whether you can give it immediately, no. You'll be just searching here and there. You may have 100 articles and 100 articles for many years, like, and whenever your institution asking for any IKYC purpose or any NAC visit purpose, and you have to run here and there to collect all that 100 into a to structure it. Now to avoid that, and simple, it will be in one place, and that is possible by these authorities, and very special author ID which is used for to avoid the name confusion. Say like a Jayaprakash, there are so many Jayaprakash will be there. Sumit, there are so many Smiths will be there. To avoid the name confusion, each and every author is getting a unique ID. That is the concept. And based on this ID, all that the articles, you can have it in the single place. That's the major advantage of this going for the author ID. Now, author identifier distinguishes the names by assigning each author in a unique number and groups together all the documents written by the particular author. Everything, it just comes in together, and your author will be a number identification will be there. This feature is especially useful for distinguishing between authors with the same names, common names. Smith, Wang, Lee. Lee will be so many Lees, but you want to land a particular researcher. How do we do it? So you can just the land by his number identification, author number. That's the meaning of this. Okay. Now, additionally, author names can be formatted differently. For example, say your publication which is appear in Lewis M and another is Lewis MJ. Okay, recently one of the faculty members, and he wanted to apply for some job. So when he just searched, and his name is 2-3 names, the list was there. Like, okay, now when you just collect different names, you won't get a H indexes together. That's the problem. You cannot just give a whole H index and total number of citations. You cannot give it. So that's the problem. Now this author identification will solve that. What are the different the names are there? Each and every different names you can create for the author IDs. Web of Science and Scopus, they have an option. You can search by the author, and author shows like a different the spelling what it is used for your publications, and that after visible you can just give a request saying that create an ID, and after ID you got an option to merge it. Now these are the options which is recently available. Web of Science, they have just come up with a beta version of author search. You do that. As soon as you just give name, it says like a number of representation made by your names, different names, author names. Okay. And if you really confirm these all it is together, then it will be a merge. That option is available. Now even a Scopus also they have. Suppose your institution, the faculty member has 2 IDs. Each ID has a 2020 the publications. So each ID will be there in the different names. So that also you can give a request to the publishers, they will merge. Once you merge only, you will get for a number of citations, not before that. Okay. Otherwise, always it will be a different and people, it's very tough to land your research papers. Like, now this is the confusion. To avoid that, really the author ID is useful, and this helps you to find and recognize an author and display variations in the name spelling. Okay, this will be useful. Now, what are the author IDs which is available? And one is with the researcher ID, Scopus author ID, and Microsoft academic ID, Google Scholar ID, and Orchard. Okay. Now these are the important IDs which is available. Author, as an author, when you have a number of publication, you have to be careful to spell out all the publication in a single place by using this. And people should not have a confusion on the naming also. You make as a unique ID for your publications. This will give a credit for you. Now the first is this the researcher ID. How it looks, that researcher ID. Now this is the way it just looks. One sec. Yeah. Now researcher ID, this is what it is, the ID number, the combination of alphabet and the numeric. As soon as I've just checked with the Arunachalam Subbaya is the scientist, his ID is this. As soon as I've just typed this, I can get his total papers. It says like 113 papers are there. Immediately these are the papers and the number of citations also I can understand. And it just gives for a full information about his background of education, all it is. Now this is belongs to Web of Science. This ID which is belongs to Web of Science, only this Web of Science, what are the publication you have published, that will be there together. It's not any other publications. Hope you understood. Researcher ID deals with only for the Web of Science publications, and it will just call out all the publications which you made by the Web of Science. Now 113 papers which is by that Subbaya Arunachalam by this ID. Now this is the ID number. It says like a total number of contributions by the year wise. It says is 113 and the citation is 81, and the number of times citation is 516 times, and average is 6.37. H index is 14. So like this single ID, it gives for all that information which is useful for to mention of to know the impact of your particular article author wise. Okay. Now this is with the researcher ID. Sorry. Now what are the 64 the documents I can visible here, and these are the authors, and all the details will be wherever published, when it published, and from where it is. All that articles details will be coming now. So next is with the Scopus author ID. So this is the ID of this Scopus author ID. So this I have taken from my office. The author is Lakshmanan. His Scopus ID this is, and BHARATHIDASAN University. So it says like a total, author is document by author is 357. Total citation he has just received is 8,756. Now H index is 48. Like that, you can just understand. Even this ID also just connects with other IDs also. Orchid ID and everything you can just connect. Now with this ID, all his papers, all his metrics you can be measured. Okay. Now this is the metrics which is year-wise publication. It says the citations and everything. Now these are the papers, all 357 papers which is available by the citations. Okay. Now Microsoft ID. See all the IDs which is free to create it, which is free to create it. Now Microsoft ID, I have just found out with that Lakshman's, it says like 442 publications, around 12,000 plus citations are received. Okay. Now this is the citations, what he received, what is his publications. Single click, you can understand by based on your author ID. That's what I mean to say. How it is just getting is only you created author ID. That ID gives with it the total number of citation, your paper, H index and everything. You don't have to worry about. You don't have to rush here and there to find out. Now these are the publication. The detailed publication list which is giving here, it shows the citation also, each and every title. Now next is the Google Scholar ID. Hope Google Scholar everyone will be using it, but to find out that ID, you have to just see to that in your, as soon as you just go to your ID, you can see here, next to this equivalent to what are the number is coming, this is what the ID. So it just starts from OP7LF, this is what. So you find out, go to your Google Scholar if you created and see to that this is what your ID. This ID will be useful to merge into any other the profiles. That is what I mean to say. So this is what your IDs. Now based on this ID, I could get it. Now Lakshmanan, he has around say like 15,000 citations in a Google Scholar. H index is 63 and total item index is 258. Now these are the metrics you can just receive by that single click of his ID. Now the last is with the Orchid ID. So here I would like to give more focus on that since which is freely available. So before what I just told you, like a researcher ID by Web of Science and a Scopus ID by Scopus and a Microsoft ID by the Microsoft, and then other Google is free, and Orchid this also is free. Now international ID which is very dominantly available is only this open researcher and contributor ID, Orchid ID you can call. You can call it at Orchid or Orchid or ORCID ID, anything you can just call, but dominantly Orchid ID people will be calling it. Now this is Orchid is an open non-profit community-based efforts to provide a register of a unique researcher identification. Anybody can research it, it's freely available, and it's a transparent method of linking research activities and output of these identifiers. So you can just identify with your numbers, and Orchid is unique in its ability to reach across the discipline, say like you can just reach across the discipline, across the sectors and national boundaries. With this ID, internationally, you'll be familiar, okay? And what are the research, it will be get shared by that internationally. Now it integrates with all other identifier systems. When you want to just put in the author ID, you can, in a profile, you can just include, you want to just bring all that, the list of profile IDs, like you can just mingle it. I'll show you how it is, okay? Now it has around more than 49 lakh of IDs, which is available. Now, why we need to just go for Orchid? I have connected the researcher landscape. So now this is the ID. So immediately you can just get connect with the publishers with the DOIs. You can get connect with the repositories of your DOI, your thesis IDs, and then you can just get connect with the funders when they're just looking. If it is available in a public domain, people can just identify and who you are and what is your area of interest and everything. They will be just extending a fund. So that also it is possible. Now higher education and employer, your institution profile management can connect, and your professional association can connect, and other professional identifiers with other researcher Scopus, even you can just give mention of your IDs. So this is possible. Now this is what it is very simple to connect with all the research landscape in a single ID. It's possible. And now the researcher ID, it will have a connectivity with the publishers, and say like a collect and connect with the publishers, and you can just say with the employer, with your organization, collect and connect, and then even with the finder, the funding agencies. So funding agencies also, they will be just tracing with the number ID who is doing what, and you can just connect, And many of the funding agencies, they're asking like without that ORCHID ID, you cannot even get apply for a funding. That's what I mean to say. Now here, ORCHID, it is required for a grant application. Why we need to go for ORCHID? Sometimes you may ask, which is required for grant application. Like when you're just getting a grant, they will be asking you to fill it. Okay. So now this is required. Without this, you cannot even apply for any grant. Where special mention is to apply any of the international grants, like you should have ORCHID. That's what it is. For a sample, I'm just showing here a National Institute of Health, Health Sciences, National Institute of Health. They're just asking. So here, ID. You must create an author ID. They're forcing you to create. Then only you are eligible to apply for your funding. Okay, apply for funding. And next is with this is the Dunhill Medical Trust. They are also just asking like, see, ORCHID. Register for ORCHID, then you can apply for it. So like our author ID, which is most important for all that funding agencies to go for it, getting any grant. So that's what it is. Now next is with the manuscripts. Now all the publishers which they just started asking like what is your I mean they're asking like ORCHID ID. Without the ORCHID ID, you cannot even submit your manuscript. You cannot even submit your manuscript. This is the sample which I've just given. Nature, they're asking like, so whether you have a ID or not. Once it is ID is there, simply they can just get connected. And apart from this, and all the data sets, it means like international depositories are available for a data sets called Fisher and then ODIN. These are the data sets. Whatever you're doing a research, international visibility, all the research data is available on this. When you want to connect, they are wanted to have a ORCHID ID. Otherwise, you cannot deposit of your research. Now, this is the importance and why we need to just go for a ORCHID. Now, I have said tell you like and to connect with your institution, this is required. We have implemented IRNS in our institution. It says like 174 faculty are there. All the faculty members, they have just given all the IDs. So this is simple to connect with all the publication where it is available. One click you can reach him for Web of Science. One click you can reach him for his SCOPUS ID by publications. So all it is possible. And now ORCHID registration, very fast. I'll just take it. This is the how to go for your registration. Yeah. Now ORCHID registration, it is this is the first screen. You can just go to that orchid.org, signing in like your Gmail. You can just start here and registration for an ID. It will ask like what is your first name, last name, as it is. You can give. Now see, as soon as it will ask like visibility setting, whether your publication or your ID can be visible for everyone or only the trusted parties. You can just check it, or only for me. That you can just check it. If you are by mistake, when you just click on that, nobody knows who you are. Okay, so make it for everyone. Now edit emails just for a visibility. They're asking like what is your email ID, and this is the additional the visibility by your the designation. All it is individual visibility. Everywhere they're asking for everyone to be known, or it is restricted. Okay, make sure let it be for everyone for a better visibility. Now it is edit India. These are the personal information where you can edit. Now then it is asking like what are the area of your specific interest. I'm into library automation, DL, like that you can just give for your area of interest. Now edit websites. What is your personal websites you have, that you can just give a name of that the site and then give it. It's for a public visibility. People can identify you. And then next this goes for that ORCHID. This is what your entire the details. Okay, so it shows like employment. It shows your profile, employment, educational, and your positions and your membership, and then the funding, all it is. Okay, so this is what a left side first what we have created is, and country, keywords, and websites what you have added. Now here it is there with the ORCHID ID. So here you can just say for display your ID with the other sites, and here they will be giving with the codings. You can do that. Now add an employment, how you can add into. This is what where I just working is Bharathidasan University. From when it is, all the display should be very pakka. What is that designation? What are the my site and everything, from when I'm just doing it. Now once I've applied, I've just updated. These are the visibility where and all I worked, it just shows. Next is for the editing of your education, and where and all you just studied, all you can just give. Now Bishopper College, Annamala University, Bishopper College, all the details I can just go. So here also it is asking like it should be visible for everyone, that you can. Now add education is there, very simple, you can just do that. Next is with adding any membership, your membership of any associations that you can add from time to time, because membership you have a mark in the UGC, right? Now these are the memberships which I have. Now here it is adding a worker. Either you can just go by the import. Say here it is there with the import from outside, it's possible. Say like you have 100 articles, all the 100 you not to enter one by one. Even you can just import, or otherwise you can just go by a add manually. When you just select for the add manually, now this is the what you're going to add. It will ask like whether your publication, yes. Then after the publication, it will say like a journal article, yes. What are the journal article? Now you have to just give all the details. Okay, what is the journal, what is the journal type, and everything, and even a URL and everything will be there. DOI numbers, everything you can just connect. Okay, now this article you may fix like for everyone. For sometimes with the copyright issues, you may feel like, sir, whether I can share it. Now here only the bibliography details will be there. By connecting that URL, the people can land at the original site or the publisher site, they can land. So you not to worry about. So let it be for everyone visible. Then only people can identify for your research contribution. Like, okay. So now this is the total work. What I've just uploaded till now is a 14 is there, and all that I made it for the public view, right? Public view is there. And the first button is there. When you just clicking on that, that gives the more details about the journal or all those things. The links and all will be there, right? Okay. So I've just explained like, and how about the what? Yeah, can I just sum up my presentation? Yeah. So I've just covered with what is publication metrics. Yeah, first I'll just stop my screen. Yeah, so I'll just sum up my presentation. Like I've just covered with what is the publication metrics and what are the types are there, what are the namings. I very focused was there in the H index and the impact factor. I've just shown like where you can just go and find out the H index and impact factor, and what are the journals which is available, what are the databases which is available, how you can just go and select that index or the impact factor journals. And then I've just explained Web of Science and Scopus, Google Scholar, Indian Citation Index, and then dimensions, and what are the metrics which they just follows. And I also just shown like how effectively you can create for your H index for a institution, an individual, and then your department. And finally, I've just touched upon with the author IDs. There are the different author IDs, researcher ID, Scopus ID, and Google ID, Microsoft ID. And then finally, I've just touched upon with that Orchid ID. Orchid, I've just given a clear information like how you can just create it. Okay. So these are the way you can just go create of your international ID, get connect with all your research publication. And if anybody asks, single click, you can give everything. And this is for your IQAC or any other committee when they visit, you can submit within 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You not to worry about it. So with that, I'll just conclude my presentation. I'll take up the queries now. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Yeah, I'll take up your questions now. Hello.
Hi, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
There's a question.
Yes, sir.
How access Web of Science, whether it is access free or signing must be done?
Yeah, I told you like Web of Science is a paid. Web of Science is a paid. It is by the Thomson Reuters, now recently taken care by the Clarivate Analytics. It costs you around more than 15 lakhs per annum. Now by InfluNet, all the universities which we are just receiving by UGC fund. Yeah, all the universities which has gotten access by InfluNet, colleges, you have to pay and get it.
Okay, sir. Next question from
Yes,
Kohila.
Yeah.
If Google Scholar is created by institutional mail ID,
okay.
whether if I change my institution, can't we access previous institutional mail ID, or what to do? What's your suggestion, sir?
No, actually say like an institutional mail ID which is required, really you belongs to that particular institution or not. Okay, particular institution or not. Now whatever you just connected with the previous institution will be there, and you can just go and change off your the new institution, and whatever the publication in future we are doing it, that comes automatically. Okay, so first screen you have to just make all that article to be added, and then second, whenever you are just changing of your the institution, you can just change it, no problem. Hope you got it.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, next.
Next question, sir.
Yeah.
When the citation number and article number are the same, it's called H index.
Yeah.
How can the citation number be static? I mean, it won't people keep citing at least for a few years.
Now that's what it says, like a total number of your paper is there now. Whatever it got cited, that gives the rank for that H index. So like a number of papers, whatever they're just citing, na, it's what? It is just getting a more citation. Really your H index is getting increased now. Hello.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
now
sir.
And then whenever your H index is, you're getting a citation, your H index are increasing.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Whether next question from Alex, sir.
Yeah.
Whether Indian citation index journals are included in UGC care list or not?
That's what before it was there dominatively. Okay, now they're just selecting and including it. It is there included. Now, when you just go to that UGC care list, you can search by the Indian journals. Okay, some of the journals may be like included in the Indian Citation Index. Before they were very specific, only by Web of Science, Scopus, and then Indian Citation Index. Now they've just come up with that UGC committee is reviewing the journals that may be indexed in Indian Citation Index. That's not a problem. It is indexed.
Okay, sir.
It is included. Yeah.
Okay. Question from Anjali US. Does high the impact factor means better to publish because some of the Sage and Elsevier journals are having less impact factor. So is the impact factor is a ranking order?
Yeah, actually impact factor, when you just high impact factor publication, that gives the your ranking. It means when you're just applying for your CAS or you're applying for any other the postings, then they will say the total number of marks. By the UGC, they're saying that each and every article has a 10 marks. So like that, when you just go for impacted, highly impacted journal, that gives for, they're given a marks and 25 plus. So 25 means like 0.5 and above. The UGC have some scales are there, 0 to 5 and 0 to 5 and 5 to 10, like that. They have given 4 slabs are there, and whatever that impact factor journals you are just publishing, they are given a mark, additional marks also. Okay, now normal journal 10 marks plus impact factor is 0.5 means like you will be getting for 25 marks. So then really your marking, I mean your rank will be a higher side. But as per subject specific, there are differences there. For example, you cannot say like, sir, 15 is a very good impact factor and 2 is a very low impact factor. It's not like that. My library science, when you just take up 0 point, it starts. So it may end up with that 2. That may be the maximum of it. But when you just say for a physics or a chemistry, even you can just say for 10 or a 15 is the very good impact factor. Hope you understood.
Yes, sir.
By the list of the Web of Science, and it is there the highly impact factor, but as per the subject you have to analyze. Library science, I cannot expect the 10 and above. Okay, I can select a very good impact factor as 2. That is what a subject specific impact factor you have to analyze and then choose it.
Okay, sir. Next question.
Next.
If from Professor RC, if an unpublished workshop or conference papers get cited by other scholars in Springer journals, then how to note them, sir?
I'm not getting. Actually,
if there are unpublished workshop or conference papers,
okay,
get cited by other scholars in Springer journals,
okay,
then how to identify them?
No, actually, see, I've told you, when you just published any other article, okay, which is indexed journals, then only you will have a citations. When you're just publishing in some of the conferences, it won't get any citations. Really, your conference papers as an organizer, when they've just included into the any citation, any Web of Science or a Scopus indexed journals, then you will get a citation. Hope I'm answered.
Yes, sir.
No, is it clear for that the particular person, or yeah?
I'll get okay. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Next question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, are research scholars eligible to create the author ID in ORC ID?
Yeah, yes, you can. As an individual, you can create it. There is no restriction. Actually, institution is there, individual is there. As an individual scholar, you can create it. There is no restriction. You can.
Okay. Question from Pradeep PN. Some good journals may not have good impact factor, but low profile journals have a high impact factor. How it is this, sir? Why this, sir?
No, that I told you. So impact factor it is getting only based on the citations. Okay. Last 2 years, how many times it got cited, and that's what the number of divided by number of publications. This is the way they are calculating for the impact factor. Now maybe what you are just talking is it's fake the impact factor journals maybe. Now recently everyone has just started giving Indian impact factor, global impact factor, something like the local impact factor. All they've just given to attract the scholars. They're charging the processing fee and then doing it. In that case, sir might have been asked. He might have just observed like a very low journals says like a highly impact factor, which is not true. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. What are the again from question from Kalyani?
Yeah.
What are the ways to improve our citation?
To improve your citation, I have told you, try to publish your article which is indexed journals. Indexed journals, that is indexed by Web of Science, Scopus or Indian Citation, that's the indexed journals. Okay. Then people will be there to refer your papers. Otherwise, you won't get any citation. See to that what you are publishing in index journal, and people, those who are referring also, they should have just published in index journals. That's what, not in the same journal, just index journals. Then you will be getting a citation. And make sure that you try to, I mean, for getting a citation, you try to create a profiles and share with the public. So then only people will come to know that what you're doing a research, what are your papers, and whether your paper is good or not. If you're just keeping with yourself and nobody knows like what is your research. Okay, so try to share with the public, and based on this, there are a number of profiles are there for research visibility, and these are the author IDs also there. You can use this. Yeah. Next.
Question from Mr. Anthony Vigil. Whether any impact factor for SSRN library paper to conference and IE digital library to conference paper? Whether any impact factor has for SSRN library paper to conference and IE digital library through conference paper?
No. Actually, see, papers are there. You will be just getting a citation. Those things will be get added to your Google only. Okay, now. So whatever you just published only in the index, that will get a citation for your original count for H index and everything. Hope you understood. Who was that person, sir? Can I just talk to them exactly what they are looking at the answer?
Anthony Vigil, sir.
Right now.
I'll unmute Anthony Vigil, sir.
Yeah, you can. Sir, whether I answered your query?
Just a minute, sir. I'll unmute. Okay, sir.
Hello,
Anthony,
sir. It's myself.
Yeah.
It's myself, sir.
Anthony Vigil?
Yes, sir.
Whether I answered your query?
Sir, my question is, my paper was what it was registered, it was entered in IEEE Digital Library through conferences.
IEEE Digital Library through conference.
Conference.
Okay, fine.
So
Okay.
whether any impact factor or any citation?
Yeah, now IEEE, which is included into the SCOPUS, and really, if anybody refers, and you will get a citation. That's not a problem.
Okay, sir.
That's what you have to-
SSR and Digital Library, that also through conference paper.
No, that is a conference paper, and whatever you just registered there, that will be visible for all that public. Okay.
Yeah.
When after just referring it, a person really is publishing by the index journal, you will get a citation.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. If I'm just
Okay.
visiting an SSRN and then see your paper, if I'm not publishing any of that index journals, you won't get any credit.
But I had checked in the Google and some other websites whether any impact factor value is there. I couldn't find it. That's right.
That's what impact factor value. You cannot get it by that Google and other things. Okay.
Okay.
Your paper, whatever you're just given, IEEE, that gives them only the SCOPUS. Okay. And other SSRN, whatever you have done is that has to come from your Google.
Okay. Sir.
Just see to that
Okay,
the particular paper you have added to your Google, and that gives for the number of citations, that gives the credit. Then your H index will be increased only the Google, not by Scopus or Web of Science something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Next question, sir.
Okay, sir. Can we, Radha Krishna, can we use our mail ID instead of official mail ID for this citation?
Where, sir? Using events where? I have told you like, and wherever it is just taking, which is required. Say like a Google Scholar, it is a record for your mail ID of your institution. Why? Because whether really you belongs to that particular institution or not, whether you're being to that particular subject or not, so who will confirm it? So for that, they wanted to have a official mail ID to verification, right? Yes, sir. Which ID, sir, especially you are asking?
Actually, he has not mentioned, sir.
Yeah. Archived ID, it is just taking with the Gmail. Okay, that will get connected with the Gmail, no problem at all. And very special like Google Scholar, which they're taking with that your institutional mail ID, right? Yes, sir. Next, sir.
I think there is no more questions, sir.
No more questions.
Yes, sir. No more questions.
Yeah, if anybody want, and you can just unmute and let them have one. We'll take up one or two.
Okay, sir. Koti Domani has.
Kumar?
Yes, ma'am.
I think Dr. Arasi is having a question. It is a little lengthy question. So can you unmute her so that she herself will ask?
Yeah, she can.
Okay, sir. Okay. Arsi madam. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. This is Arsi.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
I have attended a workshop at Oxford, and that was published not in the official way, but published in the website, Oxford website. But that
Okay.
got referred by many Springer Journal articles
Okay.
by other scholars. So,
Okay.
but that I still haven't published it. So, but that got cited. How could I make use of that citation?
That's what when you have some of the whether you have a publication in the Scopus.
No, I have a Springer publication, one book publication. Springer
Book publication. Okay.
Yeah, chapter publication. But
Okay,
I
okay.
have not had any journal publication.
Okay.
But
okay.
my conference paper got cited by other scholars.
Okay.
That was published in Springer journals.
Fine. When other scholars, they have just cited. Okay.
Yeah.
And really, when they after just citing, when they publish into the index journal, you will get it. You will get
Yes.
it. Otherwise,
yes.
yeah.
Yes,
Otherwise, you will get into your Google account. So whatever they have cited, immediately it will be get reflected in your Google.
It is coming in the Google Scholar, but I have no Google Scholar, private ID or something else so far.
No, I'm not getting.
No, I have no private ID, Google Scholar ID or something. I have not created it.
Oh, then you create it now, which is freely available. See, people are just referring your articles. Somewhere you have to just get credit now. So that credit you'll be getting through your Google. Better you can just do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. I have just told you how to only 3 steps, and you can just go and create it. And whoever is, see, now you're feeling that your article is good, people are just ready to refer, and your research is getting cited by many of the people and you should get a credit for that. So better you can just create and have a credit. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Question from Sangeeta Anthony. Can you please,
Yes,
could you please elaborate more on I-10 index?
I-10 index, actually Google Scholar, they have H index and I-10 index. I-10 is nothing but whatever the articles which is cited more than 10 times. More than 10 times. That is called I-10 index. Those articles got more than 10 times got cited, that's called I-10 index.
Okay.
I've just shown you clearly, and the person has around 138 I-10 index. All that 138 papers got cited more than 10 times. I've just shown in the picture itself. Yeah. Hope she can understand now.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Next query, sir.
Next question from YouTube. Sir, in what order names are cited? Especially Indian people name where we have name followed by initial.
Okay.
What way we cite our names, sir?
Now, actually, the citation which can happen only by affiliation, how you are given. Okay. And the next is like how that database got indexed. Affiliation you are giving, no, Jayaprakash, B Jayaprakash, Balasubramani Jayaprakash, when I'm just giving. So based on that affiliation, and that will get indexed, and then you will get a citations. Now the name confusion is there. That's what it just goes with that the different same name, it got splitted. For example, like Jayaprakash, some of the publication will be there. Balasubramani Jayaprakash, some of the publication will be there. Jayaprakash, B, some of the publication will be there. Okay. Now this is what a new problem with that Web of Science and Scopus, the authors. Now they have come up with that author search. You can go to the Web of Science and simple search with the Jayaprakash. That shows where and how it is just spelled, what are the articles. Now it will ask like, if you are all same, if you can confirm your author ID and create as a single profile, then everything will get solved. Okay. Now citation which is happening only by that affiliation what you're just giving and indexed by that particular database. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
The question is from mine. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Sir, normally if other scholars or faculty members just they clicked my journals, will they count it for citation, or they have to go and cite it in their journal? So how it is working, sir? How it works?
I'm not getting. Your journal is there or your article is there?
Suppose my article or journal is in the Google Scholar.
Your article is there in the Google Scholar. Okay.
If any members just click, it will be counted as my citation, or they have to cite it in their own respective journal.
No, they have to cite it. They have to cite it, because that's what you are saying, that cited is there. When you just click on that, where they have cited all the details, you will come to know that. So they should cite somewhere, cite and publish. Yeah, that is, then only you will get a credit. Otherwise, no.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I think participants.
Any other queries? Yeah. Any other queries, and he can openly ask. No worries.
No, that's it, sir. I think no more question. Madam?
Welcome, madam. Any questions? Any clarifications? Saktireka, madam.
Yes, I think that's it from the participant side.
Okay.
So we'll wind up. Thank you very much, Dr. Jayaprakash, for taking time and presenting your session today. And I think this is the session which has got many number of questions. And I am sure wherever you go, you would have faced all these questions, because these are all the questions in the mind of many academicians today, because we are under the pressure of improving our citation, H-index, and all that. So I'm sure it might be a useful session to all the participants today. So thank you very much for your session. Now I'm coming to the formal vote of thanks for the whole series of these programs, these 5 days programs. We are in the last moment of this 5 days development program on scholarly publication. Some of you might have thought why it is called as professional development program, not the usual faculty development program. Because when we say the moment faculty development program, it will stop including participants from the research side. Like we have a number of research scholars who are really interested to join. So we want to make it as this way so they also can join us and get the benefit. And we are here the last minute of the 5th day. And I hope, and I am seeing the feedback form also every day, and we are getting very good feedback. So I take it as a pleasure to inform you that all the 5 days were very useful to all the participants. Initially, when we started floating the program through WhatsApp and other things, we have started number of registrations. So we really got worried, how are we going to address all of them by including them into the session, because we had very big limitation of including only 100 members in our Zoom account. So we tried to incorporate this YouTube live stream. Of course, some participants are watching in YouTube every day. And I know how difficult it is to make all through these 5 days. Many of you have done that. So congratulations and thank you for doing that. And during this pandemic period, we have a lot of difficulties at home, even psychologically. Sometimes we have anxiety, sometimes we have fear and all that. But in spite of all that, all of you have made it for all these days. So a special thanks, and my first thanks goes to all of you. Thank you very much for joining in all these days programs. And my next thanks goes to my co-coordinator, Dr. J.S. Gunavati. So we discussed a lot and designed this program, and of course, it is our first program. We went online, so we had lots to discuss and to come out of that inhibition of going online and all that. So I enjoyed doing it with Dr. Gunavati. Thank you, Dr. Gunavati, for being with me. And the technical support we got from our Professor Hema Kumar. He's an assistant professor, Department of HRM, Madras School of Social Work. So from the day one, he was with us to help us to create the Zoom account and live stream with YouTube and all that. So thank you so much for your time, Professor Hema Kumar. And we had our own student volunteers, Mr. Rashid and Ms. Poonvodai, to help us out in bringing the feedback form every day and certificates to be generated and all that. So thank you, student volunteers, and all the resource persons, starting from Dr. Rupashri for the first day, and Dr. Gunavati and Dr. Rajasamvel, our own principal, and today's resource person, Dr. Jayaprakash. Thanks so much to all of you for taking time to prepare and be present in Zoom to deliver your content to the participants. So your time gave such a fruitful impact or learning to the participants. So thanks to all resource persons for their contribution.
Thank you.
And also our special thanks goes to our principal, Dr. Raja Samuel, for being very supportive of this program, and our management, Madras School of Social Work, for giving us all support all the time. So thanks to all these people for making this program, this professional development program on scholarly publication from 9th to 13th happen possible. Thank you all once again. And of course, the participants, thank you so much for your time. We'll wind up. Thank you.
Yeah, I also just take this opportunity to thank that participants. Really 5 days, very, very hard to sit and then listen all the time. Anyway, you have a dedication and you have attended all 5 days. Hope you have just enjoyed. Really, you have just enriched your knowledge based on this online professional development. And I thank for your patient listening and then interest which you have just shown. And I also just take this opportunity to thank that organizers. Really, Saktirega ma'am and Gunavati ma'am has done a wonder, and then support of your authority. And I also just thank that authority has given me the opportunity to share some of the information with the participants. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.